When was 10 years old, he told his father that he wanted to be a casino boss. Today, as America's appetite for gambling continues to grow, Wynn is one of the biggest success stories in Las Vegas. He is chairman and chief executive officer of Mirage Resorts and says his casinos, which are designed to appeal to the whole family, are, quote, what God would have done if he had the money. Steve's been talking to God. I am pleased to have him here on this broadcast. Welcome.
I got nailed with that quote. I'm not sure I ever said it, but it sort of fits, I guess. It sounds good anyway.
Tell me, first of all, the status of America is fascinated with gambling, or as you have said before to me, gaming. I mean, the Indians are doing it now in terms of some property they own. We've watched Atlantic City. The Mirage is a huge success. More and more people seem to be caught up in it. Some say, William Safire among others, that this is not necessarily a great idea for America. But give me the story of gambling.
I saw a great cartoon in one of the newspapers. There are two American settlers, pilgrim types, standing and looking at two Indians. And they got a bottle of whiskey, and the settlers say, give them the whiskey, we'll end up with the whole country. You see the two Indians say, give them a casino, we'll get it all back. Anyway, it was funny. William Safire says it's not necessarily a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know the context in which he said that, but my business is sort of a limited thing. I don't know how to deal blackjack or craps if my life depended on it. Our orientation to what we're doing, deep down inside, the very bottom line of how we come to work every morning, is we're saying that regardless of ethnic or cultural or economic backgrounds, that most everybody in the world, wherever they live, when it's time for their free time, leisure, recreation, vacation, whatever, they all pretty much say the same things to one another. Where can we go where we can see something we can't see normally, where we can have fun, raise hell, and have a good time? Las Vegas.
Place where they stay open all night.
Yeah, where there's a party.
Yeah.
I have been involved for the past 27 years in my adult business career in Las Vegas. And my orientation to this activity, except for some time in Atlantic City, is about Las Vegas. And I don't think it's ever been a gambling town per se. I think the spectacle has always been Las Vegas itself. The idea that people would come to Las Vegas to see the crazy characters, the bright lights, the all-night business. Sure, while they were there, they gamble. But they come for the shows and all the rest of the stuff. You remember in the 50s and 60s, Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis and all those wonderful times.
The Rat Pack, or whatever they were called.
I think it's still the same. I think that this idea that Las Vegas is where you could go and have fun and see something you couldn't see anywhere else is still the main attraction. I saw a story in Fortune magazine today that was brought to my attention this afternoon while I was here in New York that I didn't know about, and it said that, is Las Vegas going soft, with a humorous twist? And it mentioned that our Treasure Island Hotel, in its first very successful year of operation, had 41% of its revenues from gaming and a shocking 59% from non-gaming. What's this all about, says Fortune
and what's
magazine.
the non-gaming?
Well, it was entertainment, the Cirque du Soleil show, the rooms, the food, the beverage, the stores that we operate, all the other entertainment attractions. The point is that the place wasn't just all about gaming. It was much more than half was non-gaming. That isn't an accident. It doesn't mean that people gamble less. It means that people come to Las Vegas for a total experience, and to the extent that you give them value for their money, they seem to respond to it and buy those other things as well.
And what you're giving them is something they can't get in most places. Is that the secret
right, and
to it?
It's not a slot machine, because you can get those almost anywhere these days. Can't
What
you?
is it? I mean, is it fantasy? Is it larger than life? Is it a world of volcanoes, I think, and that kind of stuff?
I think it's the whole package. I think it's the whole idea of what goes on there 24 hours a day. Somehow, Las Vegas has been unabashedly, unceremoniously, immodestly, a town without hypocrisy. It's like a flasher that says, here I am.
Yeah.
You get off the airplane, and you know, you can go to any country today where they don't speak English, Japan or Africa or Latin America, and look at someone who doesn't speak English at all and say Las Vegas, and they break into a knowing grin and nod their head. It's a town whose image is very highly established. It hasn't got anything to do with elegance or subtlety. It's got to do with having a party.
Is Atlantic City as big a success as Las Vegas?
Not really.
And why not? I mean, here's the eastern seaboard with all the population that's on this side of the Mississippi.
Well, it's been analyzed to death. my own feeling is that if you accept the premise that we operate on, that people are coming to have fun and amuse themselves, purely that, and gambling is one of the things they do in order to accomplish that, then the attitude of the employees, the whole ambiance and rhythm, the tempo of the place becomes very important. In the old days, the police aura of Atlantic City was so overbearing that the employees were intimidated, as were the customers.
What do you mean the police aura?
Well, they had inspectors and government officials watching each other, watching us, watching the employees, and then approaching the rank and file employees on issues that were mundane and ridiculous, but that intimidates someone. When a fellow with a badge or the Division of Gaming Enforcement or the Casino Control Commission walks up and says, "Your badge is on backwards. If you do that again, I'll have to write you up." Everybody gets very jolted about all of that. And the whole thing rippled through the place. They told us how to build our buildings. And that wasn't necessarily the most responsive chord for the customer. So
maybe because Bugsy Siegel. Was the movie essentially accurate or not? Or was
no, it wasn't actually. The spirit of it, I guess, was it's always been a good story. Bugsy Siegel didn't start Las Vegas at all. It was there before he came. You know, the gambling industry was developed in downtown Las Vegas. Siegel came to town and wanted to build this hotel. And the fellas that control the gaming, the local fellas, they knew that he was a hoodlum. And they said, "Not here. If you want to do this, you got to go out in the country." He went 5 or 6 miles into the barren desert. He was actually excluded out there. That's how the Flamingo got out so far. That's why the Strip is outside of town. And he had this notion that if he built a nice place, everybody'd come over from L.A. Now, they were already coming over from L.A. to the other places. But he overspent. It lasted in 1946 for 2 nights and closed at Christmas.
Right.
The Golden Nugget had opened, our place had opened the previous Labor Day, you know, just a few months before.
Right.
He opened it up for 2 nights for Christmas, New Year's, and it failed. He reopened it the following July, and he was shot after that. And it was more for other things, from what I understand, than the failure of the hotel.
But organized crime has always been a presence in Las Vegas?
Until the 60s, when Hughes came.
He changed it?
Oh, well, he first of all, he
He just bought everything.
He bought out a whole bunch of those fellas, the places that were reputed to have undisclosed owners. The Hughes era was followed almost immediately by the public companies coming. Krikorian,
Right.
Del Webb. And in a space of about 5 or 6 years, virtually every hotel changed hands. And the old guard took a hike.
They're out of there.
With 1 or 2 exceptions. There was an exception at the Stardust Hotel that ended in the 70s. There was a prosecution of some of the owners at the Stardust for being involved with the fellow Spilatro. That ended in the 70s, and that was just about it. So it's been a good 20 years.
How about Teamsters pension money?
That came in 2 or 3 of the hotels in the 70s. One of them was Caesar's Palace. Another was Circus, 2 companies that are one owned by ITT Sheridan today, and the other one is a prominent public company. Again, you know, that was the 60s, 70s thing, and it was pretty much over. The Teamsters loans survived after the owners were gone under the control of the Labor Department, who took over those funds.
There's a tell me about your relationship with your father. Here is what I read just this afternoon. Steve Wynn worth millions and millions of dollars, and the Mirage a huge success, and which you built with not a huge amount of money in the beginning through smooth and smart business dealings and buying and selling, buying your first piece of land on the Strip
from Hughes.
You didn't meet him, though, when you bought it.
Never met him. Never had a chance to meet Howard Hughes.
Yeah, but you turned
Love to have met him.
You probably knew Mayhew, didn't you? Robert Mayhew.
Yep.
You sold
Still
it.
do.
Is he still out there?
He's still around.
Yeah.
Sure.
You sold it within the year, did you? And made it
10 months.
And made about
$1,100,000. 700 of it was mine after taxes, and that's what I used to buy my Golden Nugget stock.
You brought a small portion of the Golden Nugget and then built that. The Mirage is a huge success story. You had some, backed by Michael Milken, helped you in terms of getting some funding.
We were Drexel Burnham's and Milken's first clients in 1979 to go into the Atlantic City Golden Nugget,
which you later sold to the Valley Corporation.
Right, for a handy profit, which we invested in the Mirage, along with additional financing that we raised through the public and Drexel Burnham.
You said back to your father, to have him walk in here for 15 minutes and see what I have done and give up whatever it took.
I really would. I've been so blessed. I got a great family. My wife Elaine, my daughters. I'm in business with the most wonderful group of people. That we're all a big family, like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but this is about your father.
And I've had every break that a young guy can have. Life is good. I have friends whose dads are alive, you know, that are my age, that are in their 50s. And the fathers enjoy the sons, and the sons enjoy the fathers. I would have given. My father was a compulsive gambler. If he was anywhere near a casino, he would lose his money, which was an unhappy and trying experience for the family.
And still is for families.
You bet it is. Fortunately, it's not very widespread, but it is a painful thing. It's like alcoholism. It can be treated, but it's a painful, difficult thing and very frightening for families. And my father was fascinated with the gaming industry. He thought that it was the smartest thing he ever saw. I can't imagine what the expression would be like on my dad's face if he could see what we do now with dolphins and suites and high rollers and people betting $1 million a night and corporate jets and all of this other stuff that whirls around this crazy business we're in. I think about it all the time, what it would be like to take my dad on a tour through this. Of course, my mom's alive and well and great, and she's up to her ears in it. My mother, Zelma, is sort of the Annie Mame of the property, and she's a great lady, and she's full of vitality and feisty. She's going to be 79 years old. She's 79.
It is, but your father, it seems to me, part of this, without being your psychiatrist, part of this was just to say, Dad, look, you know, it
maybe
turned
I'll
out
get even.
Yeah, it's turned out pretty well. You know, for all that gambling and what pain it brought to the family, your son did pretty well here.
My dad taught me that the most important thing was not what you think of everybody else, but what they think of you. And that to be successful in business wasn't just a question of money. If a man did it properly and honestly, it made him worthy of respect. I'm one of those young people that assumed the values and the principles of my dad, and they've been good enough for me ever since. I never questioned my dad's generation. My father aspired to things that he didn't get a chance. He died when he was 46 years old. But 46? The things that my 46 in the course of heart surgery when I was a senior at the University of Pennsylvania, a school where I'm a trustee now. I mean, I just think about those things.
Life's been good.
Life's been good.
Life has been good, but as your friends know, you have, since you were in your 29 or 30 years old, right, had
my eye condition.
Your eye condition.
I was born with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and so are hundreds of thousands of others.
How do you?
Oh, well, you know, it's an inconvenience. Any handicap, we have a remarkable way of adjusting, and I have a diminished vision because of this retinal disease called retinitis pigmentosa, and it's more common than most people think. Although the name, it's known as RP. And it attacks the back of the eye and robs you over a period of many years, slowly, of your vision. Now, one of the first things that goes is your night vision. For me, because I have the recessive version of this disease, I still ski and I can function pretty normally. I take it easy in the dark where there's steps and stuff like that. But many kids are blind when they're 9 years old with this disease, and research is going on. But in terms of its impact on one's life, have you ever noticed pictures of the fellows who were lost both legs in Vietnam? And they're in a basketball game or a marathon, and they're full of competitive spirit, and they're full of life. And then you read the next day that some poor sucker with 2 Rolls Royce and Bel Air kills himself because he was depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think handicaps aren't the thing that determine the success of our lives. I think it's how you deal with it, right?
Yeah. What do you think has made the most difference for you? I mean, the drive?
See, I don't know. I think of myself as one of those lucky human beings whose ambitions, and I didn't aspire to find a cure for cancer, or to be the first man on the moon, or to dance in the ballet, in the New York Ballet. I had modest ambitions. I thought that building resort hotels would be a great, fun thing to do, and I got a chance to do what I wanted to do, and my personal skills in life sort of matched my ambitions, which has allowed me to be a happy person. And I think that's a good thing.
Great to have you here. Thanks
thanks,
for coming.
Charlie. It was fun to be here.
Thanks.